Welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop. Steve here to bring you a playthrough of V-Commandos, a stealth game by Triton Noir. In this game, we're going to play through an operation, or otherwise known as campaign game. This game is going to take around 2 hours of actual playtime, and we'll be using 3 commandos on this mission. The rest of the information on this card is just for flavor text, but if you're interested, we'll be in Poland in 1943. So, with that said, let's jump over to the flavor text for this mission. In November 1942, packs of German U-boats have sunk 800,000 tons of Allied merchant ships. It's a sad record threatening to back the US out of the war. Germans used the port of Danzig to repair their submarines, which is where we must attack. Sabotage the dry docks and assemble 2 teams. One of your commandos, disguised as a German officer, must capture an enemy admiral. The rest of your group will ensure his protection. So that's what we're up against. And so what this campaign will entail is revealed on the back of this map card here. So Operation Grail is going to consist of 3 terrain. The first terrain is the shipyard, and if we beat that shipyard, then we unlock the next 2 terrain, the docks and the water tower. And they are unlocked simultaneously, so we'll have 2 maps to play at the same time. If we beat those 2 maps, or those 2 terrains to say, we win the game. So here we have the shipyard terrain card. This is going to tell us how we set up our terrain. And the important factors are look at the north indicator, so we make sure all our terrains are oriented in the same spot. And north is going to indicate our enemy movement. I'll show you that later when you see the compass tile. Down here in the lower right hand corner, we have the number of commandos that can go on this terrain. If we ever exceed that number, the alarm will automatically be triggered because there's basically too many commandos and not enough space to hide. That won't matter at this initial playthrough. It might see it later on the next maps we unlock. I'll explain more how that works. And then the rest you see here is the actual layout we need to grab. So I'll grab those tiles and I'll set them up. But basically there are 3 different types of tiles we need. Small, medium, and large. And then whether or not you see a dark border and a hash mark is marks indoor, and just a light border and no hash marks is an outdoor tile. And then we have a token plus a number count in the lower left hand corner, so I'll grab those and set that up. And then we have our objective. You're at TNT, fast! So we need to blow up the dry docks using explosives. And those are the blue markers on this map. Each explosion floods its tile. Remove the tile and all tokens in contact from the game. So that's what we have to do for the shipyard. And after that, we'll move on to the docks and water tower. With that said, let's construct this terrain. And here we have the completed terrain for the shipyard. So just show you real quick that in this game there are different size tiles, small, medium, and a large tile. And on the other side is the indoor terrain versus outdoor terrain. And the brilliant thing about this game is you can grab literally any tile you want as long as the size matches, and the artwork itself doesn't matter. But if you want, like me, you can actually go through and find 2 matching tiles to represent dry docks if that matters to you. But it really depends on how much time you want to spend setting up, so it's really flexible that way. I like that a lot. But anyway, I want to walk through a little bit what's on the map, and then we'll do the final setup, and we'll talk about what happens next. So a couple things on the map. We do have these truck tokens. There's 2 down here and 2 up top here. Those represent enemy spawn points. So right now they're on the black side, which means we're not detected. If we do become detected, we'll flip them over to the other side, which is the orange side, which is the alarm state. And basically we'll spawn twice as many enemies to the board in that state. Likewise, in the middle of the map right here is the alarm token. So right now we're undetected, but if we do trip the alarm, we'll flip it over. And we can go to that tile at some point later and maybe disable the alarm to give us a breather. And then we also have the main objective. So I'll put 2 objective markers up there to the explosion side. So those are the dry docks we need to blow up. We also have 2 TNT tokens down here, which we can grab and utilize if we want. So we can also start with TNT, depending on what characters we choose, so that might be something to consider. And we have doors. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 doors here. Doors with the brown stripe in it is the closed door, and anything well, it's all gray is an open door. And the other tokens on the map here is a closed trapdoor and an open trapdoor. When you enter a terrain for the first time, you can enter the terrain through any open trapdoor. So when we start the game, we will have to enter over here. But when we escape after completing our objective, we can potentially open this trapdoor and escape from here, or make our way back to our starting point and escape from there. But that's basically how you set up the terrain, and the last thing we need to do is set up our guards. So I have our enemy reserve bag here. I will reach in. I need to grab 3 guards for us. And the guards are pretty easy. We'll grab one of these tokens out, and there's one side that has 1 dot on it, another one with 2 dots on it. So for the guards, we need a 2-dot enemy. We place it hovering over each of these triangle tokens. It's recommended put it actually on top of the triangle token, so you know that it's guarded. What that means is it won't move from that tile. Every other enemy can leave that tile except for that guard. So one there. We'll grab another one down here. This one actually has a gas mask token for expansion. It won't matter for this playthrough. I just have it mixed in here. And then we have one more. Also, the gas mask token won't matter here as well. So that's our 3 tokens that are going to be guarding. Now that we have our enemies on the board, we need to finish creating our enemy reserve. There are these no tokens on there. We can grab all 7 of those guys and shuffle them into our enemy reserve bag. Or if you have a cup, you can do that too. And then we need to grab all the elite units, and there's different ones for different expansions, but this one we have these guys here with three dots on them. And we'll grab 7 of those we leave out, and the other 3 we put into our bag. And shuffle it up, and we're ready to go. Now let's take a look at the commandos in our operation card to figure out what we're going to do. So here we see all the terrain for the campaign we'll be facing. I already showed you the shipyard terrain in detail, and that's already set up. But once we complete that terrain, then we'll have both the docks and the water tower to try to complete simultaneously. On the docks, we'll likely be sending 1 commando, otherwise the alarm will be triggered, and he needs to find the admiral and escort him to safety. The water tower will likely be sending 2 commandos, and they need to maneuver an anti-tank gun around the corner to this large tile and take out a sniper tower so the admiral can escape. In addition to these 2 objectives, which you could play individually, so what I mean by that is you can grab one of these cards by itself and just play a one-off game. But what we're doing here is playing a campaign game, and on the back of the operation card are additional rules. So the shipyard has some additional rules, and in this case there's a V with a red symbol here, which means these are veteran rules. So if you want to play with a harder difficulty level, you can play with these rules, but you don't have to. And in this case, once the alarm is triggered, we only have 4 turns left to blow up the dry docks. Meaning, so the flavor text is, at the slightest alert, the enemy will open the locks and it will become impossible to sabotage dry docks. So if we aren't able to blow up those dry docks after we're spotted, we will lose the operation, the whole campaign. The other options are for docks and the water tower. There's some special rules there, but for now I'm not going to go over those. We'll go over those later when we set up those 2 terrain. First playthrough, one of the characters I would like to use is the medic. So here's one of the character cards in the game. In the top left corner, you can see a number of spots where we can gain wounds or save actions. We can save 1 action in the top left corner. The other spots are gaining wounds. On the right hand side, you see the weapon they start with that's printed on the card. And then anything else that's faded out, like this medical bag, you can grab from a token bag and place it here. So we'll have that as we start the game. We also have an ability here, and this one has a P in front of it, means it's a passive effect. This one says, after using a first aid kit, roll 1 die. If it's a 5 or higher, the first aid kit can still be used, so you keep it. Otherwise, you discard it. So there's a 1 in 3 chance that he can reuse the same first aid kit over and over and over again. So this medic is the one I want to use, and the reason why I want to use him is because his weapon here is silent, and I love that. Knowing me, I need to have a silent character. And the rest of the characters I want you guys to choose. So here are the other 3 commandos I want us to help pick from. So there's the sapper, scout, and sniper, and there's 2 sides to them. This is the blue side, and I'll flip them over to show you the other side, the tan side. But before doing so, I'll just briefly talk about what each of these do, and that'll help you decide which ones we want to pick for this campaign. So the Sapper, on the blue side, he'll have a grenade, 2 TNT you can use, and a Colt pistol. And his special ability is for 0 actions, so basically it's a free action, he can place a TNT charge, so he's really good for setting traps. The Scout has 2 abilities. For 1 action, he can move stealthily into medium terrain. For 2 actions, he can move stealthily into a large terrain tile. So that's really useful for sneaking around. And he starts with a crowbar, which can open doors silently or even stop enemies from spawning for a short period of time. And he has a Thompson gun there. And lastly, we have the Sniper. Sniper starts with a grenade, has a sniper rifle, of course, and her special ability is for 2 actions, her sniper rifle has unlimited range, and she can shoot target 1 enemy entrance on her terrain. So those spawn points I showed you earlier, she can shoot those terrain spawn points. If the shot is successful on a 3 or higher, the reinforcement truck driver is eliminated, so you actually shoot the truck driver. So you skip all the enemy reinforcement for this entrance, but they'll spawn next turn. So basically, you can shoot the truck driver for 1 turn and stop any enemies from spawning from that point. But next round, obviously, another truck pulls up. So those are the blue sides. And here are the tan sides of each of those commandos. So the Sapper starts with a much better weapon, but he only has 1 TNT charge with him. So a little bit of trade-off. He can carry a lot of equipment here. He still has the same ability, though. For 0 actions, place 1 TNT charge. So the Scout has an additional ability on this side. As a passive ability, he can move through walls. So what that means is he can go through a solid wall as long as there's no door along that edge. So that's really cool. He can crawl through air ducts, essentially. Other than that, he still has his same ability to move stealthily to larger tiles. And finally, the Sniper has a new ability, a passive ability. So when she's firing her Springfield sniper rifle, she can roll 2 dice and choose 1. She also has an ability for 2 actions. She can do a long-range shot on any outdoor tile on her terrain. So you can snipe from anywhere you want to any outdoor tile, which is really, really nice. So take a look at each of those. Feel free to pause the video and let me know in the YouTube comment section below which of these commandos you would like to see on this campaign. So, and be clear on which 2 commandos you want to see and which side you want to see. So remember, there's the tan side and the blue side, and we need to pick 2 more commandos. If someone else already posted a commando recommendation that you like, go ahead and thumb it up, and whichever comment has the most thumbs is the team I'm going to choose. And with that, I'll see you at the next stop when we start our campaign of V-Commandos.